You know the California wildfires happening recently? Well, they're going to be moving over to New York once I'm done with this video because I guarantee there's going to be so much flame in the comment section. Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory video, and today I'll be talking about the 5 worst classes in MapleStory. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. I've been doing top 5s for past 2 years now, or was it 3? I think it was 3. But I never made it bottom 5 at all, so let's flip the tier list upside down and count down which classes are the Kirby's, Zelda's, and Ganondorf's of GMS. Which means I won't talk about that one class from TMS, I think it was called Zen. Anyways, let's get started, and I hope I don't get roasted alive. I'm going to order this list from least worst to worst just for the fun of it. It's probably common knowledge now as to which classes are the worst. These classes aren't bad in that they're unplayable or they're just so weak that you die instantly, it's just in a comparative aspect. Like, they're not bad, but other classes can do such a better job at their job that there's really no point in choosing that class to main. On another spectrum, there are the super niche classes where they excel at a specific function, but they're screwed over by their abysmal everything else. They're gimmick classes, basically. If you main any of them, I applaud you for being part of the minority, but your time and energy is probably better spent on a different class. Remember though, do what you love and love what you do. Even if you're a masochist. First is Kanna. Kannas are honestly not too bad, but the reason they're on this list is because Kannas have unfortunately turned into nothing but an accessory class for the community. In other words, you only use a Kanna for their skill Kishin Shokan. It's an extremely powerful skill that increases the spawn cap and the spawn rate, but due to how gregarious that singular ability is, no one really appreciates Kanna's other attributes as a result. Kannas have serviceable mobbing, their damage is decent, and while their DPS is a bit subpar, they back it up with fantastic utility for parties. They have the 2 barrier skills, a bind, and Haku has so many amazing buffs. But if you're looking for a good offensive mage, just play Luminous, Ice Lightning Mage, or Kinesis, they're better choices, and utility mages can be overshadowed by Bishop. Haku also got nerfed a ton about a year ago, which exacerbates that too. Why would I put Kanna on the list instead of a hole-in-the-wall class like Mihail? Good question, and I have a pretty decent answer. Kanna's most prominent benefit to the game is in the form of Kishin, but that alone does not deserve a class. On top of that, there's an item in the game that basically is Kishin, except it does its job twice as good. It's called Frenzy Totem. I know that item isn't available on Reboot, but very few people main Kanna since the only thing it does well can either be done as a mule character, or if you're on a regular server, you just get Frenzy instead. When was the last time you saw a Kanna that wasn't used as a Kishin or Meso Mule? I only know like maybe 2, but that's like out of the thousands of players that are playing this game? Next on the list is Illium. At first when this class was released, I'm sure many were excited about the new mechanical gimmick since we never had a class whose mode of attack was anything other than him or herself. When I saw an Illium, I immediately thought of Orianna from League of Legends, as I'm sure any of you guys have as well, because they both had a ball that they used to attack targets with, and incorrectly I assumed Illium would have amazing utility and practical skills for party play. Nope! Illium is the clunkiest class I've ever seen in my life, more than mechanic, which is saying a lot. They have average at best damage ratios, and I think they have probably the slowest attack speed in the game. I say they're the clunkiest class in the game because they have 0 means of consistent DPS. Illiums focus on burst damage, and even their usual skills have ephemeral cooldowns. Other classes like Arc and Kadena have cooldowns on their abilities, but since they have so many by the time you finish your rotation of skills, the earlier skills used will have their cooldowns refreshed, and even then Arc and Kadena both have a standard attacking skill to use during their downtime, while Illium has literally only 2 abilities that don't have a cooldown, both of which suck unless they're attacking the ball. And while cooldowns aren't necessarily a bad thing, for how MapleStory is designed, they're terrible. Games like Final Fantasy XIV, every skill has a cooldown or like a cast activation delay of 2 seconds, I think, but that doesn't apply that well in MapleStory where it's a bit more fast-paced and you have to just blow stuff up instantly. They're boring. When I power leveled in Illium, a good 90% of the time I was just standing still and chucking stuff at the reflective orb. That's it. Nexon's been trying to make classes that have a good level of playstyle diversity, especially recently with all the crazy combo classes they've been making. But with Illium, I've never seen a more stationary class. Besides maybe Kanna, who stands in place like 99% of the time while training. They're not entirely hopeless though. Illiums have pretty solid mobbing, even if it may be clunky because they have good vertical coverage and passable horizontal. I also like that Illiums have a temporary flight mechanic which can be more useful than you might think. Other than that though, a Luminous or Ice Lightning Mage can do Illium's job exceedingly better. Next down is Mechanic. Mechanics, they suck. They used to be the most broken class in the game paired with Wild Hunter when they were first released in 2011 because Mechanics had huge range on their attacks, high damage ratios, they were also super tanky, and they had an actual tank. And I should also mention the robots were really helpful for training and bossing together. But as the game evolved and Mechanics got their rework during the Resistance update in 2015, they just drew a short straw. I remember when Nexon had to nerf Mechanics a ton after players were using mechs to AFK train in second drill hall since they had a really powerful mobbing hurricane. Actually, every class that had a mobbing hurricane would AFK in Drill Hall, but I digress. Mechanics were DPS kings with Siege mode back in the day since you had 6-line Hurricane, and while even then they weren't the most popular class, you could do some serious work if you put the time and resources. Now, they've become a pretty rusty class with just too many hoops to jump through to maximize damage, and the reward was just not worth it. They're extremely niche, and while they do have really creative utility with the summon robots, it's the same thing as Illium, too much work for too little gain. They also have very low damage ratios. Even if you switch to tank missile mode, which is the new version of Siege mode, although I preferred Siege mode, your attacks don't do that much damage and you're very slow. The sucky part is you do have to make a mechanic, whether you choose to main it or not, but mechanics have one of the best Maple Legion character effects in the game, buff duration, which means if you want to make your buffs last longer, you gotta train this guy up to at least level 140. Level 200 is better, but I mean, it's up to you, it's your prerogative. You can play any other pirate class and have much more success than mechanics. They're just very impractical. I give Chuck a lot of respect for maining mechanics, but gotta say, the one thing that I think mechanics definitely get to enjoy within, I get like 4 or 5 months, is that they get World War III for a 5th job skill. Runner-up position goes to Beast Tamer, not a surprise, and I need not say that much about this class. This class is just what the hell. I get what Nexon was trying to do back in 2014 when it was released, trying to make a class that fights alongside animals and uses the different strengths and weaknesses of them, bear being strength, leopard being speed, hawk being air mobility, and cat being... well, being a cat. Once again, any other magician can do Beast Tamer's job but better. Hawk's skills are trash, leopard skills are mediocre, bear skills are actually not that bad and pretty fun to use with this fishy tornado and table flipping, but no reliable DPS skill besides using your basic attack. The only animal that gives Beast Tamer even a slight fighting chance at being a contender for a serviceable main is the cat, which provides a ton of supportive buffs for the party. But did I forget to mention that Bishop can once again do everything Beast Tamer can do, but better? Except for maybe attack speed, I guess. I never understood why Nexon made the class in the first place. I understand the image of the class, though the timing and the purpose of the class was just so odd. Back in 2014 during the Red Update, Nexon postponed the third part of it just to release this class. But it's not available in any of the other MapleStory games, so why did they make this one? Either way, I guess you can't even make it at the time the video is out, so don't have much else to say. Do not main the class is terrible. Actually, when I was covering over mechanic and said that you can play any other pirate class and that class can do everything mechanic can but better, I was lying. There's an even worse pirate than mechanic, and guess what? It's another GMS exclusive class. Gee, you think if Nexon in America made their own classes, they would make them super broken, but no, they don't care about them at all. Jett is the worst class in the game. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Okay, but seriously. Even more than Beast Tamer, Jett is the biggest Y class in the entire game. I say that because when Jett first came out in 2012, they were supposed to be a hybrid of Corsair and Buccaneer, having both melee and range attributes, which sounded like a great concept at the time. Jetts were overpowered when they first came out because they had all the reworked pirate skills a good 3 or 4 months before pirates got reworked during the Mutiny update. They had good damage, good mobbing, the first class to have a double flash jump and all that jazz. But the only reason they stood out well was because they had updated skills. After all the other classes got their updated skills and reworks, Jetts were forgotten almost entirely until they got reworked in 2014. The 2014 rework was meant to give Jetts updated graphics and unique skills to suit a better niche, since Nexon realized the hybrid Corsair and Buccaneer thing wasn't working. So they came out with a clunky combo class with no real sense of identity at all. Jetts are really cool from an aesthetic standpoint, since they're basically supposed to be like a space bounty hunter Samus looking ass MapleStory character, but just, and I know you're gonna be tired of hearing this, why would you play Jett over any other pirate class? The two worst classes in the game are attempts at making a new and innovative rendition of a class that initially looks and functions better than the original class, but then you buff the original class and get rid of what made the new class good. Like how does that even make sense? I did look over at Jett's abilities once more. I thought maybe they might not be a bad class in terms of just the function, but pirates are known to be feast or famine, which means there's a bunch of good pirates, and there's just a bunch of bad pirates, and Jett is one of the bad pirates. Arc, Xenon, and Buccaneer all vastly outperform Jett in every way, shape, or form. There's nothing about Jett that makes it stand out or at least contend well against its peers. Even Angelic Buster is better than Jett. Although Angelic Buster is not that bad anymore, I heard. Except for one aspect, Jett's spammable Starfall, the most ridiculous thing of all time. For a short period of time, I think like a year ago, you could spam your full map attack ultimate non-stop for as long as you'd like. The video that's playing right now is actually footage of that. And I never got to experience it, but man, that would be really, really awesome if I could do that on like another class or power leveling. Even though the community unanimously thinks Jett is the worst class in the game, they hold you hostage. Jett has possibly the best Maple Legion character effect in the game. Critical damage. And while Hayato and Shade have crit damage character effects too, missing 5% crit damage by not leveling up a Jett is a huge late game mistake because that 5% crit damage means more than you might think. As for their Link skill, it's really good if you can get lucky with it, but it's a pay to win Link skill, so not worth it. Jetts are bad, they're just really bad. Unless Nexon gives them huge boosts in numbers, I don't think Jetts are going to see the light of day anytime soon. Anyone who mains Jett, I feel so terribly sorry for you, but I also respect you for being one of the very few who decide to main this class. But yeah, that's about it. It's going to be fun watching the comment section in this video, so I won't waste your guys' time anymore. Leave your feedback on what you think is the worst class in the game in the comment section, because I want to see what you guys think. Maple has a ton of powerful classes, but they have a handful of crappy ones that you almost never see anyone play, and I think we all know why, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.